Slavery is about one person controlling another person using violence, or maybe the threat of violence, paying the person absolutely nothing, and then using that situation to exploit them economically, to make money off them.
Kevin Bales is one of the leading experts in the world on modern-day slavery and co-authored a study on slavery in the United States. He reports there are 27 million slaves in the world today. At least 10,000 of them live in the United States.
We've got way too much slavery, even if we've got a handful, and we've got thousands. They've been brought in from other countries, from all over the world, because they're poor, they're often desperate for work, they're vulnerable, and they're doing all kinds of different things. They're being used in prostitution, in agricultural work, in domestic service, working in people's houses. If you've always lived in freedom, it seems reasonable that slaves could just kind of walk out in a free country like America and find themselves a policeman and say, "Help me." But they don't speak English. But they're terrified of the police because they've been told over and over that the police are going to arrest them and attack them and maybe torture them. They don't know where they are. They're very often locked in. They're in shock. Now put yourself in that shoe and you'll find, well, this is kind of a hard thing to just walk away. It's a coercive, physical, and mental control that becomes like a chain around your brain and you can't walk away. It's important to understand that, you know, if you or I were to suffer an attack, say, to be mugged on the street, we might get bashed over the head, but you know, that traumatic event, like a car wreck, it's over in 20 seconds. Their trauma, their horror lasts day in and day out, week in and week out for years. When they come out of those kinds of situations, they have to work hard at trying to rebuild their own mental health.
Every year, between 15 and 18,000 people are trafficked into the United States.
Trafficking is all about what happens at the end of the trip. You're smuggled, you sneak in yourself, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the trip, you're caught up in a situation of slavery, and that's what trafficking's about. You end up as a slave. This is a great scam if you're a criminal, because very often the farm worker pays you to enslave them. Now I know that sounds crazy, but what happens is they say, look, you're going to have to put up some money so that we can get you transported to this job. So they take their life savings, which isn't very much, and hand it over to the trafficker, who, yeah, puts that in their pocket, takes them to a place where they then say, well, in fact, your life savings didn't count for hardly anything. We're going to need a lot more money from you to pay for this. So you're going to have to work for free as long as we tell you, so that you'll pay off the debts that you now owe us. That works two ways. It both makes the worker unsure about the fact that they're actually being enslaved. It makes them think for a little while, well, maybe I do need to work and pay back this debt. And it kind of works on their mind as a reason to go ahead and hand over their labor for nothing. And it works for the slaveholder, because as long as they can keep the enslaved person hopeful, they get a lot more work out of them. Sooner or later, the debt becomes clear. It's bogus, this is a false thing, it's slavery, and then that's really when the guns come out. I was surprised in our study of slavery in the United States by how important the average citizen was in helping slaves to freedom. We called them good Samaritans.
Hey, what's up, dog?
Lewis started asking questions about his cousin's house guest. What he found out shocked him and changed his life.
He helped them to safety, rescued them, took them all into his house, cared for them, helped them along as they began to figure out, how do we deal with this as a situation? How do we deal with this as a legal case? How do we deal with this as an immigration case? This all occurred before we had the best federal law that will help us deal with that kind of situation today. He was operating in the dark, but boy, did he do the right thing. He saved people from slavery and then cared for them out of his own pocket. What a guy. We can bring this to an end. This could be the generation that says enough. We've had 5,000 years of slavery, we're going to bring it to an end. And that's what I hope for, because I think we can do it. I think we're going to do it.